Alright. And we're back in. Because I'm a sucker in this game. It's getting really good in this story, and I want to keep playing, so. Hey. And it got really sad in the last one. She's feeling love for the first time, and it's just. People are jerks. Oh my gosh. We've got to have that drama, though. That drama. Keep your stance straight, princess. Jern gives me the warning, but too late on purpose. I see the smile on her face as she effortlessly slides past my defenses and taps me on the shoulder with her wooden sword. I got you. Again. For the last few days, I've been practicing with Jern and Garland, because Claude still doesn't come out of his room. The knights offered to train me, and right now they are teaching me about ways to hold a sword. This is slow. Claude did tell me I wouldn't be able to master the sword so quickly. Claude. Made me so angry that one day I could not even properly give him my gift. He has to feel sad that he's not here teaching me himself. Come on, princess, focus. Joel's in my revere and not at Jern. Okay. Ready myself for her next strike and once again get tapped, this time on the hip. Garland takes over for Jern, and then we do rounds where I try to hit them with certain strikes. We're both good at teaching, but it does not feel the same as Claude's instruction. This lesson seemed like they were out of a book. Don't worry, princess. It always starts out slow. I was just as slow at training, but look at him now. Garland whips his head around in Jern's direction, his face turned deep red. Jern, that nickname? But you're so much fun to tease, Lan. She beams at him and then laughs at his embarrassed face. Practice goes on for a few more minutes before the knights tell me to wrap up for the night. I think I'm going to stay out here for a little bit. Princess, you know it's dangerous out here at night. If I don't return in 10 minutes, you can come back and check on me. Jern seems unconvinced, but she eventually nods. Fine, but keep your guard up, princess. Watch the two knights as they head back. I see Garland put his arm around Jern's waist, pull her closer. Turn away from the sight, ignoring the heavy feeling in my stomach. Just practice the swings for 5 more minutes. The only thing I hear in the clearing while I practice is my shallow breathing, and the wind in my ears. Something breaks my concentration, however. I see a glimmer of color in the forest, and I instantly stop. My hands growing tense on the wooden sword. What was that? Glance around at my surroundings, and I freeze when I feel a hand on my shoulder. Feel someone's breath on my neck. Is this Claude? Probably not. Maybe. Pretty sure if I recognize Claude's hand, because I know it's him, I also know what he'd want me to do. Duck away from his hand, turn quickly to point my sword. Tip of the wooden is at his neck. For a few sudden moments, I think I've won. Even Claude looks surprised. It's really him. But then Claude's hands have moved. He's one hand over my waist and the other on my sword. Good, Butt Fairy. You realize you're in an opening, but you broke your concentration. Claude. Claude removes his hands, allowing me to lower my sword. I'm sorry, Butt Fairy. I feel my breath catch in my throat when Claude holds out the rose pendant that I got for him. I feel my cheeks flush. It's pretty. You accidentally left this beautiful thing in my room when I came to return it. Return it? Yes, you left it in my room, and so I only thought it appropriate to bring it back to you. Does he really think I left it there on accident? Why would I leave it in your room on accident? What? I bought it for you. I wanted to give it to you, but you were acting so strangely, and Claude's eyes widen, surprise on his face. But, Fairy, you bought this for me? Why does he look so shocked? Claude looks at me in awe for a few moments. His eyes go back down to the locket. Traces a finger around the intricate shape. His eyebrows slowly furrowing. It's to thank you for everything that you've done for me. But, Fairy, this is beautiful. He lets the chain fall through his fingers as he stares at the rose pendant with adoration. I feel my heartbeat stutter as he returns to regard me with the same gentle smile. He leans forward and my breathing stops as he reaches out to hold up my glass slipper necklace. He's standing so close to me. You really are a good person, Butt Fairy. You've completed your second good deed. I think some kind of congratulations is in order. Is there anything you want I can give you? Look up at him and knows that Claude's smile doesn't reach his eyes. He still looks so sad. Aw. I want you to smile. I want you to smile. He looks at me, expression puzzled. But I am smiling. No, I want a real smile, one that isn't so sad. Aw, you saw right through me. We have been partners for long enough. How about this one? He smiles a little awkwardly. The quirk of his lips looks more embarrassed than bright. Raise an eyebrow in confusion. No need for that look, darling. Really do appreciate your worry for me. What the fuck? Fingers clutching. The fuck? Wait. I lied. I want a hug. What? Claude looks at me in surprise. He thinks I'm being foolish for making such a request, doesn't he? Shouldn't I think? Before I can say anything, Claude takes a step forward and wraps me in his arms. He pulls me toward him, and in a few moments of silence, all I can feel is his heartbeat resounding in my chest. I feel his warmth all around me. His fingers clasp around my back. It feels so strange. My heart is racing. My knees feel weak. Something like this. He speaks right into my ear. It's a surprisingly pleasant feeling. Suddenly, Claude makes a noise of distress as he steps away from me. All of the warmness that was pressed against me one moment ago is gone. Jeez, that flash is still weird. Karma suddenly stops, eyes wide. He puts his hand on his chest and takes a step away from me, his fingers clutching at the fabric of his shirt. Claude has a pained expression on his face, only making me more anxious. Not now. Claude, are you okay? What's wrong? Prefer don't worry about it. Lowers his hand with... Oh, so it kind of is like Beauty and the Beast, I'm guessing, where like the petals fall on that, but this time like the thorns grow. This does little to reassure me. Was it my fault you were locked in your room for so long? You just look so pained to be anywhere near me. No, most definitely not. I was feeling under the weather. And also bitter. Bitter? Why would he feel bitter? But it's not for you but it's not for you worry about. There was a letter. It's not for you to worry about, darling. It's calling me darling again. Not love. For now, we should head back. It's late and you need rest. I just got back from patrol, so I'd like to rest as well. Is there anything else I can do for you? No, sweet butt fairy. You've already done enough for me. Clutches the rose locket to his chest and sighs out a little with a gentle smile. The smile feels real to me. It's a beautiful gift, and I will treasure it always. Thank you, butt fairy. Now, shall we head back? I nod at him and we silently walk back to the Marchen. We make it back to the tavern. I feel tired, but also lighter than I have for weeks. Claude wishes me good night before slowly walking off to his room, holding the rose locket I gave him tightly. I'm slowly killing him. No, he's falling for me and I'm slowly murdering him. Ah! But then how he would, I don't know. I'm just assuming I'm slowly killing him. I don't know. Or it's like someone has to fall in love with him and he has to fall in love with someone else. Like, I'm assuming it's Beauty and the Beast-ish because of the roses and like the arrogant kid person. So that's what I'm assuming. Today I'm walking around town to do some errands with Claude. It's been quite a while since we've done this. Though we were here to run errands, there's also something else that drew me into town today. Yesterday, Waltz came back to the Marchen, told us of an announcement the king was making today. Apparently that announcement had been posted for at least a week's time. Waltz had only caught on to it after hearing about it from the crowds after one of his puppet shows. I'm not sure what this announcement entails, but I feel like I need to see the king make it with my own eyes. Or ears. I could see more people milling about than usual, which means most of them must be waiting for the king to speak. I have a bad feeling about this. I'm not strange for the king to make announcements, but this feels so sudden. With everything else that's happened to me, I feel on edge. Wow, Butt Fairy, you made these bags sound a lot lighter than they'd actually be. Stop complaining, Miss Karma. You get valuable experience out of carrying bags. Seeing Claude complain is amusing, especially since I know he can handle the load. I feel like a servant. What does that make me when you make me carry all those bags? An assistant? I roll my eyes. We're both working at the Marchen, you know. And then this thought strikes me. What do you even do? Claude looks surprised at my question and then quickly smiles at me. I train the knights, of course. I also attract customers with my beauty and reputation. I start laughing, and Claude's face flushes. Darling, I get the feeling you're laughing at me. I wonder. Finish up the rest of our errands, and then sit down in the town plaza to rest. Claude leaves briefly and then returns with a slice of cake for both of us to share as a snack. I have a lot of things I want to ask him, and that feels like the right time to do so. May I ask you a question? Of course, darling, anything. Do you enjoy dressing like a woman? I don't mind it, really. I appreciate the beauty in anything. You girls get to wear quite an assortment of lovely dresses and makeup. It's quite beautiful. I feel more comfortable in my own clothes, but I don't mind dresses. I guess if you've had to wear a dress for so long, you get used to it. I have another question. And what would that be? When I was in your room the other day, you spoke about a woman. Were you talking about that witch who cursed you? Oh no, the woman I was talking about. He suddenly goes silent and lowers his head. Ah, dang it, my twitchy finger. His expression fades into something more melancholy. I feel my heart lurch. Maybe I shouldn't have brought this up. To my surprise, Claude continues talking. Shortly after I came to Angel, there was a woman that I met whose smile was as radiant as sunshine. She was beautiful, and when she laughed, everything felt right about the world. Hearing him talk about her makes me uncomfortable. Am I jealous? Claude watches me quietly, as if he is measuring my expression. Eventually, he goes back to speaking. I knew her for many months. Time passed, and I thought we were truly in love. And then He goes silent for a few moments, sighs distant, expression pained. Well, some things happened. I realized she only loved me because of my curse. She was drawn to me just as many other women. She seemed so genuine in comparison to the other women, but in the end... Claude trails off and lets out an exasperated sigh. You were truly in love with her? I was. I've dated many women, but I've never fallen in love with someone who has honestly loved me back. So the last person he loved was that one woman. Claude looks at me, and for a few moments he does not speak. But, Fairy, do you mind if I ask you a question? No, I don't mind. Have you ever loved anyone? My mother, of course. I was referring to a romantic kind of love. Romantic kind of love. What does that kind of love feel like? Allow me to enlighten you. He smiles at me, and is surprisingly genuine. I can feel simultaneously like floating and sinking. Your heart stutters, and you worry about small things, about offending this other person in some way. You wonder if they'll like what you're wearing, or if they would prefer a sandwich to a casserole when you treat them for dinner. You begin to find beauty in all the things that they do. Their presence makes you feel complete in a way you had never thought of before. Try to imagine life without that person and find that you cannot. You even consider such a thing as painful, so much so that you feel like it might break your heart. Claude continues talking, but my mind's already whirling. Though he phrases things in a way that still feels unnecessarily dramatic, I feel a tinge of familiarity. Things he's describing. Those are the things I feel when I'm with him. Before I can say anything weird, the sound of hooves and the both of us turn. See a procession of knights, along with the king on his horses. He normally rides into town like this, but today he's not smiling. There are way too many knights riding with him. Is that Sir Alcester? Let's go find a place to stand and watch. As you wish. Claude walks with me into the crowd gathering around the king. We find a spot to spectate at the very edge, closer to the alleyways. My beloveds, I haven't had to do this voice in hours, or in days, weeks, I don't know. My beloved citizens of Angel, I have come before you today to make an important announcement. Ever since I was given this crown, I have sworn to live my life for the people, and to rule in all fairness, so that our kingdom could enjoy great peace. Crowd breaks into applause. I stare at the king, an uneasy feeling in my stomach when I notice that there's sadness in his eyes, though he's smiling. Then I notice Sir Alcester appears to be hiding a smile. I do not like where this is going. The king's speech goes on for long minutes after that, with him detailing the commitments he made, the goals he set, and finally, his love for the people. The audience around us claps and cheers, but Claude and I are silent. Something is not right. I nod in response. To this day, I keep this promise. I would never break this oath, for it is the foundation of which I rule. The audience claps again, but I'm silent, watching the king intently. Unfortunately, the unwelcome news that I bring to you today gives me reason to hand this foundation over to someone else. I have fallen terminally ill. The king's proclamation is met with shocked and angry chattering from the audience. I cannot hear anything is being said over the cacophony of voices, but only on some words stiffen as I stare at the king. He's lying. I can tell by the firm set of his jaw, the way his eyes flicker across the crowd faster than they ought to. King has lied to me so many times before that I can recognize when he does it. I know this unfortunate news must come as a shock, but this is an illness for which there is no current cure. As for the question of my successor, trails off for a few moments, and I think I see something in his eyes that hints at urgency, but I'm not sure why. Crown Princess Emmeline is unmarried and still too young to rule on her own. I feel a pang of irritation and confusion. Another lie. Emmeline could rule just fine with the help of Sir Mithras and the others. After much thought, I've come to the conclusion that our kingdom, which still continues to face danger from the witches, is best put in capable hands of the commander of the Order of Caldera, Sir Alcester. What? I cannot hide my shock. The rest of the audience reacts similarly. Sudden outbursts a testament to their confusion. While I be providing support and assistance from the sidelines, I cannot in all good grace continue to wear this crown when I know it cannot concern my people as they deserve. Simply put, I believe that the witches have gained more power in the recent months, and that Sir Alcester is best suited to deal with these conflicts. The fairy tale curse runs more rampant these days, and there have been more reports of incidents involving magic. The murmuring continues, except now the townsfolk sound panic. This cannot be true. Do not miss the reluctance in the king's next words. Sir, Alcester has also suggested a number of remedies to our laws, especially concerning our security and work hours. I believe that Sir Alcester can better rule this country in these turbulent times. Please show him all the love and loyalty you have shown me. That bastard. Cloud has a foul expression on his face. His words feel heavy, even a low whisper. I know the king takes every duty upon himself, and he would never hand his crown to someone else. Once Sir Alcester comes to stand on the podium, he silences them with a glare. Citizens of Angel, I swear to you that I will serve you as well as Gennaro has. That being said, I also believe some changes need to be made. Sir Alcester continues. He mentions things like curfews for safety, extended work hours, and additional taxes go toward the knights. I'm slowly beginning to block out the drone of voices. What's going on? Alcester must have done something to force the king into the charade. King stands behind Alcester, his hands clasped, his eyes alert. There's a helplessness to them that I've never seen before. It isn't long before the crowd's unsettled murmuring becomes agitated whispering. I'm stunned when Colin cups his hand to his mouth and starts shouting. There is only one king, King Gennaro. Claude grips my hand and starts leading me around the outskirts so that people cannot spot him as he continues to shout. The crowd begins to chant along with Claude, and then they draw near to the stage where my father and Alcester are standing. There's only one king, King Gennaro. There's only one king, King Gennaro. Let's go, Butt Fairy. The crowd is right next to the platform now, and the chant carries on. Claude pulls me behind him. My mind is on my father and on his desperate eyes. Hours later, the Marchant's tavern is chaotic. People are talking over each other, trying to relay the scene they saw in town. Every visitor here is talking about what they witnessed. I've been in the corner of the room this entire time, trying to understand everyone but failing. Delora and Parfait are not here to calm any of this chaos. Hey, princess, how are you feeling? I almost jump when I hear Rumpel's voice. Surprise? I feel when a damsel is in stress, milady. I'm not really in the mood for your flirting, Rumpel. Oh, my apologies. I thought you might have wanted some cheering up. Where's your partner? He went out to town to survey the situation. Karma doesn't do anything around the tavern. He does a whole lot for you, doesn't he? I suppose that's the least a man in love can do. I feel myself blush. There's Rumpel going on about. Princess, you're pink. I'm not. I feel all scrambled now. That's Rumpel's fault. Thankfully, before Rumpel can continue, the door opens and Delora walks inside to call the Marchand boarders into the reception room. When I step into the reception room, I'm surprised to see two familiar figures. Hey! Emmeline and Rod. Both of them look downtrodden and discouraged. Everyone is noticeably shocked as they step inside. The prince and princess? Where do they come from? What's happening at the palace? What of Queen Ophelia? We need silence in the room, everyone. Laura raises her voice, effectively causing everyone to pause. She glances at Parfait, who nods then turns to look at Rod and Emmeline. Princess Emmeline, if you would tell everyone what you and Delora about Delora and I. The room is unnaturally quiet as Emmeline begins her story. She starts with the events of 1 week ago. In the middle of a family dinner, Alcester burst in with soldiers and seized her, Rod, and Ophelia in front of the king. Sir Alcester said that if the king didn't hand over his crown, he would kill us. We had no idea a coup would be staged. 3 of them were taken down to the prison cells, with Ophelia taken to a separate cell. Sir Fitzgerald helped us escape, but only just barely. Fritz, you openly disobeying your father. I hope that he's safe. Alcester wanted to kill the king. I'm sure that he still will. But he has no reason to. The king's already handed over his crown. I speak before even realizing. Everyone stares at me, including Ron and Emmeline. Alcester is a foul man. I only think he's usurped the throne now without violence because he wants less resistance from the people. He never spoke up to my father before. Did you just say father? It's a long story, Em. Emma looks between Ron and I, her expression confused. You know each other? We do. Emma looks like she wants to say something, but she remains silent. Our mother's still inside the palace. We need to save her somehow. And Sir Fitzgerald. What happened to Fritz? We don't know. He helped us escape. We were spotted at the last minute. He told us to run ahead and leave him behind. We didn't see him again after that, and we couldn't just wait, so Brad brought me here. Right now, we need to piece together the situation as quickly as we can. Then we need to figure out a way to save the king. I knew Alcester was up to something, but I never thought it would escalate into this. Durin, what do you know about this? Garn and I weren't stripped of our titles because we disobeyed Alcester's orders. It's because we overheard Alcester plotting something, and we tried to tell the king. Gave him a warning. The king did not believe us. Not with Alcester and Mithras whispering in his ears. The king didn't think Alcester was possible of such betrayal. He thought we were trying to turn him against Alcester for our own gain. And so Alcester stripped us of our titles and banished us from the palace. Lady Parfit found us, and while we were happy to help out at the tavern, we also intended to eventually do something about the mess in the palace. So Alcester's been planning to do something all this time. When we part for the night, Parfait and Delora take Rod and Emmeline to a room they can share. It had been decided that we will all be harbored here at the March Inn, a place that Emmeline apparently knew about but never came to because she wasn't cursed. Well, Rod did say this family knew he was cursed. I noticed Emmeline looking at me many times throughout the night. She never asked me anything. Next few days are a muddled mess. Everyone's busy trying to find out what happened and what we can do to help the king. Sweeping the tavern half-heartedly one day, thoughts on everything but my chores. Everyone's been trying to do something to help out the last few days. Though I've gone on quite a few trips into town with Claude to search for information and been able to find much. I feel so useless. Finally on my break, so I decided to go into the reception room to rest. When I step inside, I notice Emmeline sitting on the couch. She waves me over as soon as she sees me. She hasn't really openly spoke to me since she's been here. Parfait and Delora have been trying to hide her, so I don't have to cause a ruckus in the March Inn. Rumors are dangerous now. You're Butt Fairy, right? Yes. Red told me about your curse. He said that you're the king's blood daughter. I'm really sorry. I'm shocked by Emmeline's sudden outburst. What? I didn't mean to, but I took your place. How could I forget my own sister? We're not blood related. That doesn't matter. I would love you regardless. Emmeline was always trying to take me out and do things with me. Back when I was still in the palace. I distanced myself from her because I thought the king loved her more than me. We weren't close. I barely spoke to you or Rod. Didn't he tell you that? He did. But perhaps now that we can turn over a new leaf. Stubborn as always. I have more things to worry about than being your friend. I have to go. I'll go before the conversation can continue. I haven't been cursed or made in the palace. Would Sir Alcester have taken me hostage too? The hours tick by, and as the tavern is emptied for the day, Delora calls everyone together to explain what she and Parfait have pieced together about the situation. Alright everyone, we've come upon some new information. First, that Alcester's cracked down the riots in town. Anyone seen protesting his rule was thrown in prison. Can't always value the people's opinions. Alcester's not want opinions, he only wants to rule with an iron fist. Our patrols have shown that there is overall more security in the palace and around the town. They've been charged with keeping people quiet in whatever way they possibly can. As we heard from the prince and princess, things are most turbulent in the palace. King is still alive, but it's unlikely he will stay that way for very long. One thing is clear. Given Alcestar's motives to take over the kingdom, I doubt he will rest until the king is dead. King's men have turned against him, and even if there are loyal soldiers still left in the palace, we cannot contact them right now. Rescuing the king and queen will be on us, then. We just so happen to have some people in the tavern that have a shot at rescuing them. Prince Rod has the key to a secret passage we can use to break into the palace. Secret passageway. But only the king and the commander of the knights have the key to that passage. So how they get a copy? Who's going to join us on this mission? Jern and Garland both volunteer immediately, followed shortly by Claude and Waltz. I'll go too. The room goes quiet as I step forward and volunteer. Princess, we can't just allow you to put yourself in danger. Look at Claude, who's staring at me shocked. I took up the sword so I could protect those I care about. Princess, you know you haven't done nearly enough practice. But I can help. I still have time to learn. I agree with Parfait, Princess. The palace isn't the place for you to try out your newfound sword skills. You may as well chain me up, because I refuse to stay here while you go save the king. Princess. Well, she has been practicing with the rest of us. Don't encourage her, Jern. It's not like any of us can stop her anyway. You're right. The princess is quite stubborn. Claude agrees with Joran, but I can tell he does not like the idea of me going along. If only we had the time to get reinforcements from Karma's country. Karma's country? Brigantia. How is it possible that Brigantian citizen can simply ask for reinforcements? Karma is the crown prince of Brigantia. There's more shuffling in the room as everyone turns to gawk at Claude. Rumpel, Annis, Ron, Emmeline all look shocked by this revelation. You're the lost prince? Lost prince. Sounds like such a tragic title, doesn't it? Annis looks distressed as she fiddles her thumbs. All this time I never knew. I'm so sorry, Your Highness. There's no need for formalities, Alice. But I am the lost prince after all. I keep my lineage a secret because right now I'm just a normal commoner. But you're the prince. Could you still ask for reinforcements? Even if I did ask, I'm pretty sure they would never come in time. Besides, I can't go to my kingdom yet. Cannot go back while he's still cursed. Conversation continues in a more solemn tone. Ugh. Eventually we start speaking of our plan to enter the palace. When the details are all finalized, I repeat everything to myself to make certain that I know what is meant to happen. Waltz will lead us to the palace then, and Jern and Garland will follow right behind him, waiting for the most immediate enemies. Launching cheese. Leave it to us. We'll deal with any resistance before it touches you, Princess. Karma will be watching from the back, along with Delora. A witch and a prince for backup. Delora smiles wirily. Claude rolls his shoulders. I'd like to think of us as more as the closing act. Though if all goes according to plan, we have no need for either the opening or closing act. It is a small task force, which is better. Smaller the better. Last thing we want is to be noticed. We decided to meet again over the course of the next week to finalize our plans, carefully survey the situation in town before parting. Claude has taken to training me, Jern and Garland at the same time. Just the other day we had all of us attack him together. Even though I am nowhere near as good as a trained knight, I still managed to hit him once. Finally, things are coming to a sort of conclusion. You still haven't done 3 good deeds. No, I don't want the end of the game. No! Today we finalize our plans for getting into the palace. We've mapped out where the king and Ophelia must be in the prisons, where the guards might be positioned, and how we plan on sneaking in. Sit down in my bed, and I'm able to lay down when I hear something. Hello, love. You just run into my room. My ear red. Were you thinking about me? Notice he has one hand on his chest tonight, but then he's been doing that more often lately. I notice it during practices, and sometimes when I catch his eyes. Is he sick? Darling. Shake myself with the sound of Claude's voice. What if I was changing? You could have knocked. Well, you didn't seem to have a problem when you walked in on me changing without announcing yourself. That's different. He strolls aside and steps closer to me. He smiles at me mischievously. Oh, how so? Cat got your tongue? Claude shakes his head, his smile softening. I really didn't mean to come in to disturb you. I just had something important I need to tell you. Claude kneels in front of me and furrows his eyebrows. He's begging me not to go. Yep. I want to insist you reconsider going to the palace with us. As Parfait and Delora has said many times, it will be dangerous. Nothing you say is going to change my mind. I want to do what I can to help everyone. Yes, and that terrifies me. Terrifies you? If your stubbornness leads to you putting your neck out there for someone, I would never forgive myself for your injuries. If you want to help me, stay here, where you're safe. I'm not some damsel that needs protecting. But Fairy, all I want for you is to stay safe, so that when we save your father, you can face him with a smile. I won't be able to face my father unless I am one of the people to save him. Stubborn as always. I sigh, irritation welling up my stomach as I look at Claude's face. He's calling me stubborn, but he's being stubborn about this. You said I've improved in my sword fighting. That's kind of a creepy smile. You have. You've improved so much because of your resilience and drive, because you're genuinely interested. It's because I have a good teacher. Oh, your compliment is gentle to my ears. Compliments mean a lot to me, Butt Fairy. My eyes fixate on a soft smile and the gentle crinkles at his eyes. Our eyes lock for a few moments before I'm aware of a slight energy between us. Glance away hurriedly, not entirely sure of what would happen if I kept staring at him. Heart beats unsteadily in my chest. Earlier today, I comforted your sister when she started crying about the things that had happened in the palace. Emmeline, why would he comfort her? I saw her crying downstairs in the reception room earlier today, without anyone there. She's a rather sweet girl. I keep thinking about the two of you are completely different, both strong-willed and stubborn. She wears her emotions on her sleeve while you keep it all inside. I'm not hiding anything if that's what you're implying. My mother always told me crying was weak. Claude stands up and leans forward. Before I know it, I'm in his arms. I know it's a free game, so I can't really hate on it too much, but it's just a little funny that when their images get a little closer, they're just slightly blurry. It's like they're not meant to be that close. But anyway, it's just a little funny. But Fairy, I'm always here for you. I feel frustrated again. My mind feels foggy. I barely comprehend what's in my mind or in my heart. For what? For my stubbornness. Claude pulls away from me silently and raises an eyebrow. He chuckles. Oh, but your stubbornness is one of the many things I like about you. Heart thumps loudly. Like? Oh, I meant... Not again! No! Damn it. You never need to thank me, Butt Fairy. You've done so much for me. It's just sword fighting. It's your patience, your company. You're saving me when I needed help. That's not true. I'm pretty sure I'm the most selfish person in this tavern. All I ever want is things for myself. I've never thought you were selfish, Claude. He puts a hand on my cheek and looks at me solemnly. You don't think that me wanting you is... Ooh. Suddenly he steps back, his hand on his chest again. He's breathing heavy. I stare at Claude with wide eyes. Claude, are you okay? I'm fine. He sighs out slowly, but he sounds so obviously pained. I'll go get Annis. No. I'm fine. I'm fine. I swear I'll just a spell of dizziness. But he manages a small, tight-lipped smile before he straightens and shakes his head. His hands are visibly shaky. I must be tired. But Claude, do not tell anyone about this, okay? Don't want them to worry. Why is he always so stubborn? He's obviously in pain. Clench my fists as I frown at him. Why must you always be so secretive? Keeping something from me, Claude. I'm sorry, Butt Fairy. Claude abruptly leaves the room, leaving me with my fragmented thoughts. The rescue. Okay. So I'm going to save this here because it's already 1 a.m. This is a lot longer than I meant to be playing. But, oh well. see you guys another time.